It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
It feels like the first time. It feels like the very first time.
Or do you want to miss gold? You don't want to miss gold like golf and wine.
Golf and wine, dolphin wine. Which one is it? They both
Dolphin
drink.
wine's
Our
delicious.
dolphin wine is made with 100% dolphin.
You're doing.
Our dolphin wine,
He's doing a Patty voice. Just.
our dolphin wine is made with a porpoise.
That's the slogan.
Hey guys, welcome.
That's really good.
Thanks,
Dolphin
buddy.
wine made
Dolphin
with a
wine
porpoise.
made with a porpoise.
With a porpoise. I should write a children's show,
I
guys.
should ride
welcome.
a children's show.
That'll be my once I hit 40, and if this Valley Folk thing didn't do what we had hoped it had done by then,
What they
then
hoped.
I'm gonna switch gears and write children's books, weird children's books about how it's okay to be weird and anxiety is okay and there's ways to handle those.
Here's a
things.
thought. How about either way you do that?
Nah. Because
Okay.
if Valley
you
Folk,
could do that right now.
yeah, but if Valley Folk really blows, I need to focus on Valley Folk, and if it really takes off like we'd like it to, yeah, tonight.
Get one book written tonight.
Guys, welcome to the First Time Show. We're talking about The Leftovers. We're in season 2. We are trucking. We are halfway through the season. Did you know that?
We're ice road trucking. We're not. We're almost halfway.
Oh, it's only 8?
It's 10. We finished
I was trying
episode
to pull a
4
goof on Brett.
on bread.
Yes.
Guys, we forgot to say hi to
Goof on Bread
Bobby.
is the next
Oh,
one.
we did forget to say hi to Bobby.
Hi, Bobby.
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 Thanks for everything you did this week, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Bobby, I miss you.
Thanks for everything.
Excuse me.
Can I tell you? I'm gonna tell it.
Go ahead.
Earlier,
Whoops.
Steve made a big old loud fart, which he does all the time, and then and then he's fiddling with his phone, and he had recorded it as an audio clip, and now he's gonna make it as his text sound.
Yeah.
And that's it. I
Is
told
that
him.
what we just heard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told him he has
Is
to
that what
put
we
it
just
on the buttons. Go
That's
ahead.
what we just heard.
That
Yeah.
was your part? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds great.
Thanks, man. It's a real
Really proud of it.
it's a real
It's a real
production
fart.
sound fart.
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
I can hear your butthole.
What if in the future they can make you based off of the sound your fart made because they know what your butthole sounds like?
What if in the future they found out
That's
your
all Google
butthole
needs to recreate you.
your butthole is as unique as your fingerprint?
Welcome to Second Wind, where we can recreate your family based off of the sound of their farts. Come on in, everybody.
Is this your book trilogy?
Yeah.
Second Wind is the end of the trilogy.
Do you have the sound of a loved one's fart? Then you're in luck. You can bring them back for just a few $100 million. Here's some testimonies from some people who have used Second Wind. Hi, my name's Erica, and my father sounded like this when he was alive. And they used that technology to turn him back into a human. Thank you, Second Wind.
This sounds like. Oh no!
What is that?
Whoa, Brett, what happened?
Hold on.
Oh my God, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Brett went into the darkness.
Brett, what's going on, buddy?
I got it.
Guys, for those of you that don't know what's going on, I'll tell you. We're having an incident is occurring on Brett's camera, and
It's Bobby.
It's
Bobby's playing around.
this is the start of a pretty decent horror movie.
Too much.
Guys, welcome to the First Time Show. We're watching The Leftovers, very obviously, and we watched
Is it obvious from the farts?
some episodes. Episodes 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. 3 was called Off Ramp, and 4 was called Orange Sticker. And they were just okay.
Oh, really?
Let me
I
take
liked
that
them.
off-ramp for a second. Let me just paint you a picture.
Let's
so
paint
I'm
a
in
picture.
South Carolina. Yeah, get your paintbrushes out,
Everybody get your brushes out.
Paint.
Thank you.
So I'm at my parents' house in South Carolina. In their neighborhood, they have a pool a neighborhood pool, and it has like a lazy river.
Ooh,
So
Why are you
main
always
pool,
by a pool?
and then you go off into a little lazy river.
damn.
And I was like, I need to
Jackpot.
watch these leftover episodes. And Jamie's like, I'd really like it if you came to the pool. And I was like, that's great. I'll bring my phone and I'll watch the leftovers while floating around the lazy river. And I
Dangerous,
watched
but
this
cool.
episode
I say
while
fuck
floating
too.
around the lazy river.
What the fuck?
It was one of the weirdest dichotomies of people having a good time and this being one of the most depressing things I've ever watched.
Wow.
It was episode 3 and 4? Which episode?
Just 3. Then I was like, you know what? I'll watch the 4th one when I get back home.
Were you able to like really like pay attention to it?
Yeah, I had my headphones in and I had my phone and I was just being lazy in the lazy river.
Wow.
Oh, shit. We got a player here.
Damn.
That is a very appropriate use again. That could go
Yeah.
up against the one from last week.
Oh man, Steve, I think you're gonna win. I think you're finally gonna win this one.
I don't know. It's anybody's game, Brett. I just thought these episodes were just okay. Like,
Really?
there was some interesting stuff that happens in both, but we're really heading pretty quickly into what this season is going to be about. Now that Kevin is sort of like giving in to
Okay,
Patty.
thanks, spoiler, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a spoiler, is it?
All right. I just had to call you out just in
Oh,
case.
Well, I don't think it's a spoiler because, again, I don't really remember much what happens other than I don't really remember these 2 episodes, and I think it's because these are a kind of come and go couple of episodes, and now we're going to really get into the good stuff.
I really liked them. I feel like we needed a bit of a breath between all of
Breath
the
register?
extreme shit that was going on. And we got a few more answers. I felt like it was a good, as far as like the waves of this show, we weren't at the tip of a wave or crashing. We were taking a second. It was a nice breath, I thought.
Okay. I guess
While
you
still
guys
being
you guys
interesting.
have really turned me off from Tommy this like in this watch through. Like I remember the first time I ever watched the show, I remember thinking like, "Oh, Tommy's just fine." And I never thought anything of it really, and it was never about Tommy, but this time around the way you guys kind of talked about how his whole like Holy Wayne storyline and what he was up to and kind of seems like it's the least interesting thing happening in this show.
That's not us. That's Brett.
You don't feel that way?
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Sorry.
Well,
Sorry to
Throw me
dunk
right
you in the
under it,
pool.
Alana.
Well,
my goodness.
I don't know. I happen to agree with Brett a little bit this
I felt
time.
the same way you did.
And now I kind of feel similar again, but then the end of the episode happened where they're basically doing the Holy Wayne.
Deal with
They're doing the
Tommy.
whole Holy Wayne routine. That old thing.
That's
and-
my
think
favorite song and dance number.
It's the most interesting it's ever been now.
Yes,
that
agreed.
Tommy's gotten the power. It's almost like, okay, it was all worth it now. At least it was going somewhere.
Yeah.
We also know now that that Wayne told him where to take the baby, which is interesting.
Yeah, but do you believe that?
Steve still questions if that was
Why
just...
wouldn't I?
I feel like that whole conversation and then his in turn like teaming up with his mom with the new scheme, which is doing a Holy Wayne thing, is like totally something that they just came up with together in the car in that moment when
You don't think he has powers?
Oh, absolutely not. No. I think I think him and his mom in the car were like, the difference between us and Holy Wayne is that we don't give
Us
people
and cults.
anything. Or in cults, yeah, is that we don't give
We're not giving them something to believe in, and that's why people join cults in the first place. They feel like they want something to make their
Right.
life purpose to be about.
And then Laurie said, "Well, let's give them something." So I think that they like came up with this new way of like rehabilitating people who were in cults by
Giving them something
by
to believe
giving
in.
them something to believe in by making Tommy kind of a faux Holy Wayne,
A Wayne
a
too.
Foley Wayne, if you will.
that changes everything.
I mean, that's just
That's not
my.
what I took that at face value.
I mean, I don't know. It could be. You guys could be right. I mean, what do you think, Alana?
The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, so I guess that was all lies, like kind of what you're saying. But watching it this time, I'm like, I don't know. Is it possible that some of the story is true, or maybe even all of it's true, but they didn't want to share it? Or, I mean, it did feel to me like Tommy was acting when he did the whole "and I can hug now" and shit. So I feel like maybe at least that part's not true. The thing is, I want it to be true that Wayne just showed up. I want it so badly to be true that I'm like one of their cult people. Like, I want to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, something about that particular episode was we ended up getting like recaps of what people were doing that we kind of missed. Like, do you remember but they did it in like a dialogue way, and they didn't really show us
what specifically.
like
are you
you know what
about?
I'm talking about, Brett? Like at one point they were, I can't remember what character it was, but they were like they were talking about what they did, and it tied up some loose ends from season 1 and connected season 1 and season 2 really well.
I remember there being
Well,
moments
this
like
was the
that. I
first
don't
time I
remember.
felt like this is the first time we realized that she quit the GR after she spoke.
Right, and also
Like, her
the
speaking
Patty
to
thing.
Kevin was the end of her time with. What's that? The Patty thing?
Yeah, we learned that Laurie, when Laurie joined the GR, it was because the next time she saw
Patty like preyed on her pretty much.
yeah, and Patty preyed on her emotions because the big incident happened, and for some reason she believed that maybe she had predicted it or something. But what I got from that whole exchange, or the fact that we got little things like that in this episode to kind of catch us up to things that we wanted to know how they happened in season 1. Like, they're tying up some interesting things. Like, you did want to know how and why exactly Laurie joined the GR. I mean, up until this point, we kind of all assumed that, well, she lost her child and her husband cheated on her, so she probably was just at the lowest possible point for, you know, a person to be able to tolerate or whatever.
No, he was cheating on her while the poof happened.
Right.
You don't know when she found out, if she found out.
I mean,
he wasn't cheating on her before that?
I mean, that's the thing.
I don't think
know.
so.
But the point is that you could assume because of the trauma that she went through, more specifically that she lost her child in the departure. You could kind of put together that maybe she joined the GR because she just kind of couldn't handle the loss of her child, and then her husband, whatever.
Sure.
But the fact that we got like that loose end kind of tied up with why she joined the GR, it's kind of like unavoidable now that we know why she joined. But the point is that the fact that she even gave us that like loose end tying kind of situation makes me think that maybe the conversation Tommy had in that like meeting with the Guilty Remnant people, maybe there was a piece of that was just kind of tying up loose ends for us. Like, maybe Holy Wayne did come to him and said, take the baby to
Well, what's fishy about that, I think, is what makes me think it could be true is that he then told him he was going to die the next day, and that whole thing.
Right. And then he did. Does Tommy even know exactly what day he died and all that? So
I guess
that's what I'm saying.
But...
Like, what I'm saying is like, question. I think all those things he said about his last encounter with Holy Wayne actually happened, but I think his ability to like have Holy Wayne's powers now is something that him and Laurie came up with to help rehabilitate cult people.
Potentially, yeah. That's exactly how I'm seeing it. And my feeling about Tommy, just to
most interesting thing.
Oh.
Go ahead, Alana.
Just to clarify the Tommy thing, I was thinking, I had thought it was an interesting storyline last time I watched it, and you pointing it out, Brett, had the same effect on me as it did Steve, where it made me feel like, oh, you know what? Maybe it's not actually that interesting because not that much is going on. Like, why did I like it so much? So I feel like I was in the same boat as Steve. My video is weird too. Should I try to play?
Yeah, just do what I just did.
Okay. Go ahead, Brett. What were you saying?
The most interesting thing I learned in this episode is that there was no reason given for the smoking.
I know. I love it.
Very true.
I love that even Laurie was like, I don't know. Like, we just did it. Like, everyone
They didn't
did it.
tell me why.
Yeah.
That wasn't clear to me either.
And I feel like a lot of things written like that coming from Damon Lindelof really is almost like fallout from Lost, and how he was really burned by the fans who like really like bullied him off of social media because they like couldn't, they didn't leave him alone about how he ruined Lost and it's all his fault. And so when you do things like in your show, you poke fun at like, because essentially that whole scene was like fans getting to like kind of ask someone involved in the show about certain show elements, like the guilty remnant loose ends that are being tied up now too, which was really nice. But I love that he basically asks her like, what's the deal with the cigarettes, which is something we've all been asking. And when they were making Lost, people would be like, what's the deal with the four-toed statue or whatever, and then we would never get an answer.
Don't spoil.
Well, whatever. I don't know. That's not much of a spoiler, but we would never get an answer for it. And it feels like when you get something like that in a Damon Lindelof thing, where they're blatantly asking a question that the audience has been asking, and the audience really wants to know, and then they just answer it with like I don't even fucking know. It's like, fuck you. There isn't an answer.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like...
but it's like, what's better? What would the answer? What would like a satisfactory answer even be?
I mean, I think he has every right to poke fun at people who were like giving Lost a
That's
bunch
what I mean.
of
Like,
shit.
There not being a reason is just as satisfying as some
exactly.
Like, because they wanted to die quicker or whatever.
Right.
They wanted to all like draw awareness to lung cancer.
That's what Alana said, is that they just want to die.
No. I was
smoking.
guessing. I'm not claiming that as my actual.
All right.
What it bothers me though, because I feel like psychologically, people who join a cult, a lot of times it is that want for purpose and to have a whatever. And I think I think it's hard to have people to believe that people would be in a cult doing things that they don't know why they're doing it. Not that they don't individually critically thinking really logically know why, but because normally a cult leader will give some sort of like, oh, because the sky's blue or whatever reason. They'll give a reason. It doesn't have to really make sense, but there has to be a reason so that people can cling on to that. And even if the reason doesn't make sense, in most cases it doesn't. And then you're like, oh, I just wasn't thinking. And of course that doesn't make sense. But the fact that there was no reason at all for not just the smoking, but it seems like a lot of things, makes me feel like, is that really a believable cult then that all these people around the world are going to? Like,
interesting.
There's two.
What my question would be is there a reason? I mean, is there no reason, or did Laurie just not get? Was she not told?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now you join this. Now you smoke.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Yeah,
but I do.
Part of this.
I'm sure that there is a reason, probably, when you when you ask someone who worked on the show, probably. But they're like, we talked about it and we didn't put it in the show because why is that an important thing? It's not.
But still, Laurie is like a psychologist or some kind of therapist.
She's psychologist.
I would think that she would be one of the people who wants the answers.
Yeah.
In order to commit to the cult, and then she'd be hooked and be in. Yeah, but
I think Lindelof truly was using his he was making a joke about audience that really want to know the answer, and instead of giving Laurie a moment where she knew but didn't want to say anything, he used her as a way to poke fun at the audience a little.
I think it was a great dialogue between her and the book producers. So.
Yeah, agreed.
Worth it.
All right. Well, listen. How do you guys feel just overall about Off Ramp, the Tommy and Laurie centric episode?
I felt like there was a bit of a Tommy.
I'm glad we watched 2 this week.
Oh no, Brett did not like it.
Why is that?
It's a very this is a very Lost thing again, but I feel like in doing this would be like The Lottery or The Moth, one of those episodes where they're kind of almost standalone in the middle of Lost. However, in this, it's doing that kind of standalone mechanic, but as a part of the larger story. And when it's done that way, it just feels like we're getting, most episodes have like an A story, a B story, and potentially a C story. This is like we just got an A story. So it just plays a little slow. It doesn't feel like much happened. It's good to know this stuff. The Meg scene was insane.
Yeah. It's like
when she
rape. It was a rape scene.
when she raped Tommy.
Yeah.
That was really, really odd, and then basically like threatened his life. I don't know if she's now pregnant and that's going to be a thing, but
yeah, I was wondering that too.
That was really weird.
Let me get my note pen.
Overall, I thought this episode was a little thin, especially for an 8-episode season.
That's how I felt about it, but I love what we got out of them. We got like some lore. We got some loose ends tied. We got what Laurie's up to, because I do think Laurie was a fascinating character in the first season, and it's
but you build, like, Damon Lindelof likes to build momentum, and then like stifle that momentum.
Yeah, which is okay when he did it in the way how the season opened, which was like with a completely different family, all from their perspective, and you're like, holy shit, is this season going to be about this family only? And what is this? And then suddenly the Garveys show up at the end. Like, that was a cool way to do like an A story, that works in a way that's like interesting, I guess. But in this sense, it's like,
to that end, we've had 3 episodes. One of them was about the characters that we're like interested in following.
Right, exactly. And I like, again, I think Laurie is a fascinating character, and I definitely want to see what happens to her, and I want her to be happy. And I feel like what we learned about Laurie more than anything in these episodes was that she didn't really like want to leave Kevin, like, and she probably wouldn't have. If it
That's
wasn't
not what I feel like
if
we
it wasn't
learned.
for the guilty remnant, because she said, like,
It wasn't about you. It's not that she didn't want to leave him. It's that her leaving was about her.
She said that, but then in the book meeting or whatever, or I can't remember when she said it.
No, it's not about you, Steve.
No, I can't remember at what part of the episode it was, but she basically said that she left the guilty remnant, or she left her husband because the guilty remnant made it happen or whatever, or the guilty remnant forced her to get a divorce or something. Like, I think it was in the book.
No, they
meeting.
said to her, and we read the part about...
Yeah.
But I think that's the guy, like, getting details wrong, as he
yeah.
did the whole time.
But he kind of wasn't at some points. Like, he was...
No. I think that's you reading into it.
No, I mean, he was saying stuff about Jill and her wanting to run back in, and that whole thing was like like an actual recap of the first season.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It felt to me like Laurie... I don't know. I really got the feeling that Laurie didn't want to actually divorce Kevin, and it was the guilty remnant that made her do that.
You could be right.
I don't know.
I'm not crazy opposed.
That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, I agree with Brett. I think it's like there cannot be more episodes like that, because that's how I stop watching a show.
I don't agree with the two of you. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting episode, but I feel like there was so much to...
But you stopped watching this show in this season, right?
Not at this episode. I saw this part.
Yeah, this is the groundwork.
I mean,
I stopped watching because I felt like I was being toyed with like a cat playing with a mouse, and I was like, just fucking snap my neck or let me live. Give me one. There just weren't enough answers for me.
I mean, coming up is some pretty incredible television, so you got to just sit tight.
Well, let me defend the Laurie thing. There was so much we learned about her. I mean, there were some things that we just saw from her perspective, okay, and we kind of already knew that happened, whatever. But we learned so much about so many characters in that episode because of seeing her experience.
But the problem is I only really care, like, I don't actually care that much about Tommy. Like, I don't really want Tommy's story to get in the way of Laurie's story, which is way more interesting than Tommy's story.
But we learned so much about how she's also holding in again this anger and stuff. Like, there were new things in the episode too. It wasn't like we we arrived with her where she is now, not where she was. And where she is now, she has new things she's dealing with, such as holding on to
That's what I'm
anger and
saying.
shit
Is I
from
like
before.
that. I'm saying that I like this. I like where they're taking her story. I think she's a fascinating character. Like, I want to see what happens to her. And, like, honestly, the idea of someone, like, trying to come back to real life after fully giving themselves to a fucking cult is, like, pretty fascinating stuff. And I want to see how she handles that. And so far, it seems like this book really means a lot to her. It's something that she put her actual, like, emotional heart and soul into.
And she's mowing over guilty remnants at night with her car.
Yeah, and she's like, obsessively cleaning her car and obsessively cleaning the spot on the windshield. Like, what was that, you think?
Because she needs control. Hello.
Is that what you think it is, Brett?
Yeah, and she...
I think she's
wants them
worried. I think she feels like they're after her, and that every little thing is like something from the GR, or it's blood on the window from where she hit the GR.
Right.
It's definitely,
Like,
I
maybe
think,
that's
from
not
hitting
the first
people.
time. Because I thought she said
that's
something
what
like,
that is.
No, it's not the first time. She's done it a bunch
they
of
don't
times.
jump it. She's like, I don't want to hit them, but they won't get out of the way.
Yeah.
She's testing them every time. She wants somebody to voluntarily move, but they won't.
She's
like,
here
it's like a hope for humanity in my eyes.
The actress that plays Laurie feels that the character is playing a game of chicken with the guilty remnant members she runs over, hoping that putting them in physical risk will make them wake up the way the fire woke Laurie up.
Yeah, exactly. What the reason I'm agreeing with you guys that, especially watching it the second time, Brett, you've brought light to the idea that Tommy is less interesting.
Well, Brett just is a light.
Brett's a light.
I feel bad for Kaboom. I feel like I've really soured him.
But I do think
for
what
everybody.
what I liked about Tommy in this episode is it seems like his whole life thus far, he's like aiding other people. He's being the assistant to, so to speak, with Holy Wayne, and then with Laurie and what she's doing. And then finally, by the end of the episode, he steps into his own and he's like, okay, now I'm going to be in this position of control and power, and people will be helping out with me. Like, he literally swaps spots with his mom. And I'm curious to see how his character development might work.
Okay, so yeah, maybe
Forward
he
motion from
needed to feel like he was leading rather than following.
Well, at least at this point, he's made a change.
And he was watching that, like, YouTube video of Holy Wayne's, like, first ever.
Oh yeah, speaking of that,
thing. Remember that?
Yeah, we learned from the radio thing that there's a guy in Australia who, I think they said David Horton, who rose from the dead.
Yeah.
Came out of a cave alive after being dead for days. And there was a quote somebody said about him. They said,
here's the thing. Play
Okay.
the clip that just says "what" with a question mark.
Okay.
Okay. Let me find it here. Shit, it's hard to tell which one it is. Hang on.
Also, we learned that the
I
guilty
can tell you what
remnant.
number it is.
Yeah, can you tell
Oh.
me what number it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It's number 3.
Hang on, everyone.
It's this one. What the hell is that?
That's the hardest part.
That's what he said when he came out of the cave.
Let's hear it.
Say it again.
What did he say?
Wait, one more time.
I have no idea. Play it one more time.
Something about a hotel?
Well, the quote that somebody says later in the episode about him is they say, I wrote it down word for word. He went to the other side and he can't die, is what he apparently was saying when he was interviewed. And what I also love about this episode is we learned officially that the guilty remnant believe in, and they believe that the world ended. I literally hadn't considered that, and now we have multiple characters suggesting that that's what they believe in these two episodes.
Guys, I think something just clicked in my brain.
You mean
and
that sound?
I don't know what the hell that sound was. Truly.
Something was clicking in your brain.
But there's I just put something together just because I'm watching it another time. Yeah, anyway, I can't talk about it though. So anyway, I'm sorry.
What a tease.
There's some cool trivia here though. It says here that the use of Mac Sense Siren's cover of the Pixies' Where Is My Mind was meant to call back to the use of the original version in A Matter of Geography, tying Kevin and Laurie together. The use of the original in that earlier episode had in turn been a reference to Fight Club.
What? It was a Fight Club
Matter
reference?
of Geography was the last episode?
I think the last episode of season 1, yeah. Or wait.
No, I think it's season 2, episode 2.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Okay.
It also says Laurie tells the Guilty Remnant members, "You are not welcome here," just as Patty told Kevin in the pilot.
All right.
Ooh.
When Tom
That's
comes
good.
home, the TV is reporting on David Burton's
Oh,
supposed
shit.
resurrection.
I wrote Horton.
According to the script, the young woman Tom unsuccessfully tries to rescue in The Guilty Remnant, New Rochelle House is filling out multiple credit card applications, presumably to benefit the organization. What? That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Which organization? The Guilty Remnant?
Is that how they got all their money?
Or is it Laurie's organization?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Can
I
you
hate it. I'm
try
moving
reading
on.
it one more time?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense, though.
Try to read it completely like computer neutral.
According to the script, the young woman Tom unsuccessfully tries to rescue in The Guilty Remnant, New Rochelle House is filling out multiple credit card applications, presumably to benefit the organization.
There are so many structural errors
It's
in that I
strange.
can't even
Is
attempt.
New Rochelle House her name? Is that 2 words?
NEW space and new is capitalized. Capital NEW, capital ROCHELLE. New Rochelle House is filling out multiple credit card applications.
All right, next.
So New Rochelle House is the character's name. She's filling out credit card applications to benefit the GR.
Okay. Is that what you think is being said there?
Case closed.
When Laurie talks to Peter Benedetto, one of the book covers displayed behind her is called Save Yourself by Dr. John Payno. John Payno is the production designer on the show. Another
I did
book.
love they wanted her book editor to be the guy from the Nora episode where she went to New York.
Oh, right.
You read that?
No, it was the book.
No.
The book that you're talking about. The book, right?
The book that the guy wrote.
Yeah,
that
what's
Nora
next?
rented at the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you said
they
the book
wanted
editor.
him to come help Laurie workshop her book.
Her book. Yeah, the one that worked on that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't understand what the two of you are saying. Am I alone here?
That's okay.
He's talking about how they
That's okay.
mentioned the book that guy wrote in the show
Yeah,
that
I
Laurie
get.
saw.
But
He's
why are
saying
you
that he
talking about a
liked that
book
it was
editor?
mentioned in this one because when Laurie went to the meeting to get
So
her
the
book
mention
signed,
the mention of book editor means that you're referencing the person who spoke about that book? I thought you said
No,
it was interesting that the
publisher
book
guy
editor is the
said-
same guy from the previous episode,
Brett-
and that I don't
Brett's
understand.
No. Brett said that he liked that the book editor guy in the episode was also the editor for that book in the first season.
No, you're wrong.
Oh,
He's also the publisher.
The publisher was saying that he could get in touch with that guy who wrote that book, who's an excellent editor.
no, that guy was in the
edit
room.
Laurie's book.
No, the editor was in the room, not the guy who wrote the book.
No, yeah, the editor was in the room.
But did he say that editor did the
Yeah.
other book?
Yeah. He said that guy that was sitting next to him, that guy that was sitting next to him in the meeting is the guy that was the editor on the book.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Yeah. What do you want? You want me to press the fart?
Can I have this pillow while we're farting?
This one?
Yes, thank you. All right, back to human
Well, we're
life.
farting.
Great, next episode.
All right. Next episode's called Orange Sticker.
Aren't you glad I didn't say sticker?
This one was better,
Mhm.
in my
It's
opinion.
about the characters that we're interested in.
Because it's about
Yeah,
the character.
you guys are
but
right. This
again,
was a better episode for sure.
But I'm interested in Laurie, so I was interested in that stuff. But I'm not super interested in Tommy. But yes, this one was better.
Tommy.
Anybody?
Bobby.
Got anything to say?
I took notice.
I
Brett,
loved
do you have?
that. I mean, we can skip past kind of the beginning, the red herring storyline where you were afraid that Kevin was getting arrested. But
Right.
I love that the handprint on the car circled back to the guy who did the red paint handprint.
Yeah.
And
Wait.
telling him he did something bad, and somehow like Kevin accidentally framed that guy
Yeah.
for
Damn.
his daughter's abduction. Like, as far as the story line within what we have was awesome.
I did not connect the idea
Neither
that it's
did
a
I.
handprint to the guy because he used handprints.
Yeah. That's so cool,
That's
Brett.
what he was
Nice
saying
work.
to his buddies. They were like, "Don't go after him."
Oh,
And he's
that's
like,
why he
clearly
went to
a
him,
sign.
because he linked the handprint to the handprint guy.
Yeah.
That's
His
why.
buddies
Wow.
were
Wait,
like,
wait,
you know,
huh?
Don't leave the city limits and go after that guy.
Yeah.
We don't have
Wow.
any jurisdiction out
I
there.
totally missed that.
That part I
Yeah,
get.
I love that. I thought that was rad.
Yeah, that's great. That's why he thought it was handprint guy.
No, he thought it was handprint guy because the handprint guy told him something bad's going to happen to you.
Yeah, but also the adult
And he
handprint
he
on
thought
the
that
car
was like a sign.
was a total sign. Yeah,
Was a
yeah.
a telling you it was
That's
me.
why he went to him and said, "Where's my daughter?" Because he figured that was a sign from him being like, because he
Right.
burnt his house down. He's thinking
Yes.
he wanted to get revenge on him and has his daughter. now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a great moment when he just kind of casually told Kevin that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I think we've been thinking of it as just like crazy, like what's going on.
right.
And he's like, I might have burned his house down.
Wow. Yeah, I missed that.
I took that as
missed
him being 0%, him thinking no one in that town is more powerful than he is, that he could just say it to someone like a top mobster, just like, oh yeah, I
Feels
killed that guy,
true.
but
The way people respond to him,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the way that guy responded when he's like, oh, that's my new neighbor. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
well, welcome.
I feel like he's the king of the town and he knows it, and that's dangerous.
Yeah, or at least he's very well respected because they kind of fear him or something. It says here we got some animal kind of stuff happening in this one, which is a recurring theme in the show. Nora sees a dog
With
running.
a dog on its leash.
Yeah. Do you think, Brett, that we got a second departure? Is that what has happened in the show?
Yes. That's what I think. I like that the kid is taking the sticker off his house at the end because
Yeah.
he's like acknowledged that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I tend to believe Patty.
Yeah.
Ghost Patty.
Yeah.
And the kid suggested that he has some like divine knowledge through God. Like, I know she's gone, da 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 da. And I know he's just a kid, but the way he said it made me feel like we should give him some
Yeah.
clout.
There's so
with that.
much.
Well, he seems really confident.
There's so much about Patty that like I'm really focusing on, that I'm really trying to like get a sense of if she's really there or not, because that's truly kind of like the big question right now, right? Like, is she there? Is she actually talking to him from some kind of other plane of existence or something? Or is he just losing his mind like his dad did? Or does he have the same exact weird vision type ability that his dad got when he turned a certain age or something? And I'm just trying to find clues in like the way that Patty interacts with him and the things she says to him. And I think they
Well, the way
really
his dad
tried
would
to
react to the people talking to him is
Yeah.
very similar to the
Totally.
way Kevin then
Totally.
reacted in this episode.
Totally. And I think there's a lot of things that are like it's just really hard to lock down exactly what is happening in the show with that right now, because we still think maybe his dad is crazy because we haven't really seen anything that his dad has done become, kind of a true thing, really.
I don't think his dad's crazy.
Well, but who knows? Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But the point I'm trying to make is that they're really giving us these little instances in the show where things like Patty knowing where Kevin's phone is in the drained thing. And I'm thinking, all right, well, if she knows, then like obviously it's real, right? Because that's where his phone is. But that could be him.
Well, think about what Kevin's dad said.
But that could be
Think about what
him
Kevin's dad said
remembering.
when he started-
The point I'm trying to make is that could be him remembering where he left the
Kevin's dad
phone.
was like crazy. Remember, he was crazy, and then he got let out of the mental institution because he said, "I started listening and doing what they told me to do."
Yeah.
And now it's like Patty's telling him to do stuff, and
Right.
he's not doing it yet.
Right,
He's
but
clearly right.
I mean, and you're
he
probably
said, "Don't get in the car."
You're
She
probably right, and I'm like trying to really pay attention.
Steve doesn't want to believe it. I do want to believe it.
I think it's awesome if it's true. And I love that because I love things like that. I love movies and shows that are fantasy, fantastical, supernatural, what have you. So I would really love it. I'm just saying that what Lindelof and the writers or the people on the creators on the show have done is they've done a great job of kind of like not really overtly spelling it out for you if it's real or not, but also giving you so many things to show you that it is real. But I
think that's the name of the game for the entire show. Every single thing feels like it could be real. It could be not real.
It could be, but the point I'm trying to make is that when Patty said the phone's over there, it could have been Kevin just actually remembering where his phone was. So that's a way to explain that maybe it's not real. But also, Patty knowing where it is, how the fuck could he have known where it was after he tried to kill himself in the fucking river?
Well, also Patty was like, "Don't get in the car."
Patty said, "Don't get in the car."
How would he know? How would he know that a car was coming? That it was someone he knew, that he would be offered a ride.
Right, and there was a car that just showed up. But it could have been him hearing a car coming and thinking in his head, I probably shouldn't get in that car, or maybe I should get in that car. Like, what I'm saying is that there's so many moments where, including when Patty kind of, that story where Patty said that she caught her husband being shit on by a prostitute, and that kind of ties in the stuff from the first season where she shit in the fucking bag or whatever. But her saying to Kevin, your wife didn't tell you that? Like, I'm surprised your wife didn't tell you that.
No, just asking. I always wondered if the doctor-patient privilege thing was real.
But what I got out of that was yet another thing that, like, because I wonder if that story's true, And if it is true, is it possible that Laurie told Kevin...
And now he's getting
and
confirmation?
that's how he knows, and that's how she's saying it to him.
I think you're digging too deep. I think they're telling us at this point that...
I'm not trying to prove one point or another.
I know, but my response is, I think we're getting told by enough signs that very likely... there's always going to be the question in the back of our heads, because that's what this whole series is about, is having questions. However, I think we're really being led to believe that what she says is... she does have knowledge and shit that she's sharing to him. So there must be some truth to her presence.
And I'm just saying that, like, it's possible that they're just doing a really great job of not, like...
100% letting us know.
100% telling us, yeah.
That's everything in the show, though. Tell me one thing in the show that is 100% for certain.
I mean, but they are really giving us a lot. Like, they have given us a lot of things. Like, they finally kind of...
my point proven.
No. They even fully reiterated the guilty remnants, like, whole thing.
Yeah, what I just said, like, 5 minutes ago.
Right. They even did that, which is something that you probably weren't going to ever get, and you wouldn't be surprised if you didn't.
Well, it's still a vague thing. They think that the world ended. Okay, that doesn't explain everything.
Right, but you got that, and you got all the shit Patty told Kevin in the cabin, which was, like... essentially the apocalypse stuff, and so you put that together and this together, and now you have a definitive kind of answer about the guilty
I think
remnant.
kind of is the key word in what you're saying. I don't think you have a if there's a definitive answer, you tell me it, because I'm not clear.
Am
I putting you on the spot? Sorry.
No, I really do think that's a definitive answer about the guilty remnant, what their whole thing was. I do think that. Anyway, let's see. We got
agree.
We got
with one of you.
Which one? You'll never know. Matt's prayer circle says a prayer ending in a reference to the departure. Let's see. Patty derogatorily references the Hardy Boys. Okay, we remember that. The script excerpt posted to HBO's website reveals dialogue which was cut from the episode. After Nora questions the story Kevin intends to tell about waking up right where the girls disappeared from, she continues, and then they're going to ask you if this has ever happened before, and you'll say, yup, and they'll say, how did that turn out? And you'll say, well, I abducted a woman and tied her up in a cabin, and then she killed herself right in front of me, so it didn't turn out that great. Kevin asks, you think I had something to do with this? Nora responds, no, Kevin. Hiding wasn't stupid. It was smart. Okay. The Garveys' the Garveys' new address is 41.
Well, then she later says she doesn't think he had anything to do with the girls disappearing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, Nora believes in him.
Right.
We also have figured out, like, I was trying to track back all of his sleepwalking and see if there's a pattern to when he's sleepwalking and what he's doing. I didn't find anything, but I feel like there's probably going to be something there.
I had felt
eventually.
like there was some tie with alcohol and him sleepwalking, but it didn't really overtly show him drinking or anything.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Right. Well, I mean, this one was clearly like he, was suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
In this sleepwalking exercise.
Yeah.
Which is bringing up so many things.
It's interesting because he even says to Patty that he doesn't want to kill himself and he doesn't want to die. So, like, what's going on?
Well, dude, when he got in the truck with his neighbor and the neighbor was like, did the earthquake wake you up last night? And he, like, had to lie because he couldn't remember. I was definitely like, oh, man, the neighbor tied him to that cinder block and threw him in the water. And thought he was dead.
Shit. And now he's like, maybe he doesn't remember because he said, yeah, the earthquake was.
That's what I thought at first.
Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh, is that why he's driving him out?
I mean, that could be true, Brett.
Like, as if the neighbor is like, I knew you were down there or whatever. I thought that's where we were going. But then it was clear the handprint made him think of the other guy.
Right.
Which is cooler.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's
that.
true. You're right. Because if he had lied about it, then maybe he would have stopped going to the handprint guy and now grilled into Kevin more.
Ass grilled.
Anything else about this episode, Alana?
Yeah, I have two more thoughts.
Okay, go ahead.
I like that we learned that really old guy's name is Virgil and that he knows things.
Oh, I like Virgil a
It's
lot.
like another confirmation that you're
was
like,
fun. I wanted to say, yeah.
Yeah,
He
and he
does
said sorry
know
for your
things.
loss.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
it means he knows things. He
This-
has some psychic ability of
I mean,
some
He
sort.
knows.
But also maybe he just recognizes her and knows that she lost her whole family or whatever.
Nah, I think he knows things, and I think there's some
Nah.
kind of he's not John's dad, is he? Somebody turned out to be John's dad, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Is that him?
It might be. Because at one point...
Is that a spoiler?
No. In like a previous episode, we go to that like cabin-y
The shack
place,
thing,
shack
yeah.
out in the trees, and it has the Christmas lights. Is that Virgil who lives there?
Yeah. Yes.
I feel like there's a reference to, I don't remember because it's been a week,
Well, at one point...
to that being John's dad.
At one point, John said to the kid, don't go visit him or something.
Yeah,
or
the kid brought him a food or something.
Yeah, he brought it.
That's right. The son brought him food.
Right, but he wasn't really like telling his dad about it.
Yeah, and the dad didn't want him to.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. But I've got a feeling there's some connection there.
It definitely feels like they're setting us up for some conflict between
think you might be
him
right.
and John, Virgil and John. And the other moment I like from this episode that I would like to say is I love when Nora says that the poof is the greatest scapegoat in the history of man.
Oh yeah.
So I think she said history of man, something like that.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And I love thinking of that concept of how many people use that as a scapegoat. Like people, because you're stuck in some way, some massive thing
bad
shakes
relationships, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
of the poof.
Well, and also the guy from Perfect Strangers, remember? He like pretended to disappear.
Oh yeah.
Because the rest of the cast
Wait, what?
disappeared. Well, the guy, remember in the first season?
I don't remember hearing somebody lied
What?
about it. When did we talk about
Wait, Alana, we've talked a lot about this.
I remember us talking about Perfect Strangers.
Yeah,
the whole
so
cast
in-
disappearing.
We have a clip of it.
Yeah, and
We have
then
a clip of it somewhere.
yeah, in season 2,
Oh,
there's like
God,
a
my memory.
news thing where they're like, we found him in like Spain or something.
Oh, that is the guy from
That's
Perfect
the guy
Strangers.
from
I did not
Perfect
put two and two
Strangers,
together
yeah.
that he was the guy from Perfect Strangers. I thought he was just a guy who had poofed.
No, he just pretended to disappear because the rest of the cast did, and he
Oh.
didn't want to look like he wasn't special like the rest of the cast. Or
Is that the actual actor from that show?
Yeah,
then?
that was him. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, that's why it's so great. And
Oh, I never watched that show.
Either he was ashamed he didn't disappear with his castmates, or like
Took it
Nora
as an
was
op.
saying, he took it as an opportunity to like disappear. Who knows? All right, any more, Alana?
That's all me.
All right, that was wonderful. Nice work. All right, so how about we get to some clips, kids?
Close kids.
That sound good?
Sounds good.
Is this
Come on down to
is this a clips?
Asprill, have some dolphin wine.
Is this a clips theme? What is this?
We're going to find out. Oh, one clap.
Yourself a fish biscuit.
Magic fucking hurts.
Jackpot. Jackpot. Jackpot.
Please, Kevin.
Jackpot. 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 Jackpot.
Hey, Officer Mustard Stain.
Jackpot. Jackpot.
Time for some clips.
Want a cheeseburger?
Jackpot.
All right.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks,
Thanks, Bobby.
All right, here's the first clip.
Come with me.
What the fuck is that?
Yes, it's the whisper.
Come with me.
So he
Great.
whispers in her ear.
Great clip.
Who says that?
New, whatever her name is, new church
Tom
hope
says that in
lady.
her ear.
Oh, that's right.
He goes,
Come with me.
Come with me.
Come
with me.
anyway, it made me laugh.
All right,
Love
here's the
it.
next one.
These toilets, they can handle day poops, not night poops.
Yeah, baby. What kind of poops can your toilet handle? Please tweet us.
These toilets, they can handle day poops, not
Night poops.
Wait, let's get a clean clip so people can use it.
Yeah.
In
In
new intros
utero.
and stuff. Can someone make a new intro song or email song?
Including.
I mean, not intro song, either an email song or a clip song that includes night poops and day poops. We'll give you, here's the clip clean for you guys.
These toilets, they can handle day poops, not night poops.
All right, there you go. Thank
Not
you very
night
much.
poops.
That's a great one. Oh, is that? That's what.
Wait, I can hear it
All right,
now.
all right.
Mozzie bites, mosquito bites, covered in mosquito bites.
Walked out.
Saying he walked out covered in mosquito bites, saying he had just been in a hotel.
We did it.
Saying he'd just been in
Alana
a
did
hotel.
it.
Or saying
Yeah.
he checked
Crack the
into a
code.
hotel.
No, saying he'd just been in a hotel. It's someone else. It's not him.
He just. Been
Oh,
in
they're
a
saying it
hotel.
about the guy.
Yeah, it's somebody who's interviewed about him.
Wow. Great
That
clip.
was rough,
Damn.
unfortunately.
Is that just a really thick Australian accent?
Yeah, and like it's fuzzy in the background, you know.
Can we get Maud on the phone?
Tell your mom. Meg says hello.
Yikes. Rapist
I just
Meg.
loved it.
All right.
Is that your son?
Mm-hmm. Kid's an asshole.
I wanted that clip too.
Is that your son?
Mm-hmm. Kid's an asshole.
Yeah, I wonder why that kid's an asshole.
Kid's an asshole.
Because you're an asshole.
What the fuck?
I thought it was Huey Lewis when we first saw that
What
guy.
did he say?
What?
I thought that was Huey Lewis, the guy that was running the building.
The landlord.
From Huey Lewis and the News?
Yeah.
Why would you think that? It doesn't look anything like Huey Lewis.
I think he looks a little bit like Huey Lewis.
Who wants a hug?
I mean,
Who wants a hug?
I guess.
You're a regular fucking Hardy Boy. Dipshits, those two.
It's such a good clip.
What does she have against the Hardy
Dipshits,
Boys?
those two. I love that clip to be
I
insighting
don't know. It
too.
offends me.
Can we do a clean one of that?
You're a regular fucking Hardy Boy. Dipshits, those two.
I just love the way she says dipshits, those two.
Dipshits, those two.
She was taking a shit on him, Kevin. Shit.
Genius clip
He was
pull.
taking a shit on you. Yep.
Again.
I love the way she says
She was taking a shit on him, Kevin.
Yeah.
A shit.
A shit.
She was taking a shit on him, Kevin.
Kevin.
She was taking a shit on him, Kevin.
All right.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna.
I can't believe Kevin got rickrolled.
around and desert you.
Hey,
What is there any other purpose for her to do that?
who's your friend?
I think she's saying those words to him.
Yeah.
She was taking a shit on him, Kevin.
Kevin.
Fair enough.
She was taking a
Kevin.
shit on him, Kevin.
A shit. All right, let's do some emails. How about that?
Took your top.
Look who's here.
Fuck your daughter.
Jackpot. Jackpot. Jackpot.
Shit. Oh, shit.
Jackpot.
Officer Mustard Stain.
Time for some emails.
All right. This one comes from Brian Kaczynski. And he says, "Hey, you tasty fuck bags. I got a fresh clip for you. Hope you like it." I feel like I'm being triggered. It's like what a bully says to you before he punches you in the face or throws a pie at you or something.
A friend of mine posted a picture of a pie that had been thrown at her, and she was making some sweet jokes. It was like she was hanging out with kids, and somebody threw a pie. It was so cute. But it really did not look... It looked real... It's not something you want to post on the internet.
Oh.
Looked like a lot of slime all over her face.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Didn't look okay. She waited too long to take that picture.
It looked like boy slime.
Yeah.
Hey, guy. All right, here's the clip.
I love how innocent she was to it.
It's called Kevin's Impression. Here it is.
Hey guys, it's Rihanna. I'm coming to you from work. It's your girl, bad girl, Riri.
What? What? Can we have people send in fake clips more often to what they think is spoken in the episode?
Brett, what do you think that was?
I think you just got bullied. I think you've been bullied.
Guys, Allie Dorr sends an email saying, "Holy shit, season 2 takes it to another level." Hi, gang. First of all, I just want to say thank you for checking out the clips and emails and themes I sent in last week. I had no idea that you'd I had no idea what you'd make of them, and hearing your reactions gave me the most intense fuzzies. Are they the ones we're currently using?
I'm unsure, but I wish. Hope.
I'm unsure.
It's hard to tell which ones we're using at this point, but I remember them being great.
Yeah. These first 2 episodes really stepped up the mystery, full-on Lost vibes. We even saw the reappearances of Hurley-Bird, as well as strong man of science, man of faith themes.
Wait, first 2 episodes, she said?
I guess.
Hurley-Bird.
Oh, she's talking about the first 2 episodes of the season, yeah.
Of the season.
Wow, you gotta catch up, Allie. Looks like Owen
Did we miss the Hurley-Bird?
Well, I think she's
Is there
talking...
a bird that says Kevin?
I think it's because there's that eagle flying around in the first episode in the old
West.
Old West.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Owen got his birthing scene after all. At least it was prehistoric. Kevin's "I have a body in the back" might have been the ultimate in self-sabotage. All right.
Yeah, when the cop pulls him over.
Hard
and
to
he goes,
remember episode 1 and 2. That was a long time ago.
Fuck, did Kevin drink all the water in the lake to save his life after Patty tried to drown him? Oh, did Patty try to drown him? That could be a possibility.
Could have been Patty. Could have been Patty.
What if she's fucking with him and she was like trying to convince him to kill himself or something?
I hear it. I don't think
I'm
it
all
likely.
for that.
Anyway, just a couple of thoughts. I tried to keep this short, Steve. Can't wait to hear the clips from these episodes. Where do you think we are in the show?
Are you asking her?
Yeah. She's like, I can't wait for the next episode.
Well, when did that email go out?
6 days ago.
Yeah, so she probably just missed it by a day.
Well, no, the last episode went up 6 days ago. I
Exactly. So she just missed our recording by a day.
thought. She's talking about.
Oh,
yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
No
All
big deal.
right.
All right,
thank you, Allie. You're lucky Alana's here. Elizabeth Hicks sends an email saying, off-ramp and orange sticker. Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. I've always thought Tommy's story of seeing
These
Wayne...
are the correct episodes.
I always thought Tommy's story of seeing Wayne at the rest stop was made up to sell people on his magic fucking hugs. Shit, where is that? No. Where is it?
Magic fucking hugs.
But do we think there's any way it actually happened? We talked a little bit about it, but I'm glad we're all on the same page. Also, I wonder who the guy Laurie is having her meeting with was talking about when he brought up the wingnut in Australia. Is it Kevin Sr. or maybe the guy in the tower wrote the letter to?
No, it's the guy we hear on the radio.
The resurrection guy. The guy that we just got the clip of.
But remember the guy up on the
sending the letter?
Yeah, he was sending a letter to that guy.
We tried to remember if it was the same name, but I said I thought there was a B in it. But now that we know the real last name is Burton, it could be the same guy. But I don't know.
I think it's the same name.
Is it the same name, or you just think so?
No,
is. I just think.
David Burton? That actually
really
could be.
I think hard that it is.
Can I Google it while you continue?
No, don't.
Super hard.
Too many spoilers.
Don't Google. Oh my goodness.
My God, what's happening?
Alana.
I really hope you guys pull the clip of
goodness.
Patty telling Kevin if he's hot or cold while looking for his phone.
Shit.
We didn't. The scene when Kevin finally speaks to Patty gives me chills every time. Lastly, every single woman on this show is phenomenal. Thanks for reading, Liz.
Dude, what's the creator of the show's name?
Damon Lindelof.
I'm so bad with names. I'm so sorry. Damon Lindelof. I think he has a real skill with actresses.
Yeah.
Like picking actresses. Everything he makes is just like, Mamma Mia!
You know who I think doesn't have that skill?
Oh.
Christopher Nolan. This email comes from Beto Guevara.
It's been Duzzy. Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Del Duzzy.
No.
Hello, Miracle Boys. Notes on the next two episodes. 203. The news on TV said the guy in Australia that Tower Santa sent the letter to came back from the dead, covered in Mozzie bites.
Mozzie bites. It's Mozzies.
There you go.
The GR bathroom. Why was he covered in mosquito bites, though?
Dude,
that's really interesting.
we could have just skipped past our struggle and gotten to Beto's email.
No,
and
Beto
learned.
said Mati bites, and he's wrong.
It is Mozzie bites.
The GR bathroom had a cup of cigarettes right next to the cup of toothbrushes. You guys think that feels like when you drink OJ right after brushing? Owen, thoughts? That's definitely not the first time Laurie ran them over. That's why she keeps cleaning the car. She later says that they don't jump out of the way as if it's a recurring thing.
I damn love Beto.
Are we just going to gloss over the raping? I know it's Liv Tyler, but rape is rape. Also, I've seen too much Game of Thrones because I thought they just wanted to cut his dick off. Oh my God. Oh, because no. I guess you get to the point where she rips his pants off to down to his nothings. And then
I felt like her very Prairie Girl dress was a little bit too obvious. Because in my mind from the beginning, I mean, I pay attention to clothes heavy, though, so maybe it's me. From the very beginning, I was like,
I guess
something
I'll pay
different's
attention
happening.
The next time you wear a Prairie Girl dress.
Don't worry, I'm not a rapist.
Oh, shit. We got a player here.
No, that's not.
The one thing.
Rape is not funny.
The one thing people getting over a cult don't need is a whitewashed version of a different cult.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said when we got to that part.
Thank you, Beto. 204. Nora, we didn't gloss over the rape. That's real bad. She's an evil, evil person and we don't like her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Nora is so fucking smart and quick.
She
on her
also
feet.
seems in charge now. Seems like she's running
she's the
shit.
new Patty. It
was
seems
Beto
like.
our friend who was loving Liv Tyler?
Yes.
I was wondering if he was gonna say something about her or just like forget about it or be like, okay, I don't like her anymore or try to justify it. This is the perfect. Listen, Beto, we don't actually know you in person, so you never know for sure.
Right.
This is exactly the response I was hoping for. Very heavy.
All right. The next one. Nora's so fucking smart and quick on her feet. I feel like she could murder people and get away with it. Wow. What if her family did not depart? I would still support her, though. All right. How does that We Are the 9,261 We Are Spared chant work? Matt is new in town, and so are the Garveys. Do they change it to 9,267? If not, are the new people allowed to pray it? It's almost as if religion is inconsistent from time to time.
I was feeling the same way. Or like, is it a weird like?
It's a genuinely good question.
Yeah, like, are you only supposed to say it if you're part of the original, or what does it mean?
I think it's like if you're a part of if you join the community, you're like part of the community. So they probably talk about how when the departure happened, there was that many people that didn't depart, and it's still a special place.
Is it like being the 16th apostle?
I'll think about it.
How many apostles are there normally?
12, I thought.
Oh,
we
okay.
saw Michael going out of the town to go pray with Virgil in the past episode. So
That's right. So Virgil was who we thought he was.
So does Virgil live outside, but he can go in when he wants? The town was on lockdown. How did he get in? Brett, thoughts? Oh, I think he just lives on the property
outskirts
somewhere.
of town. I think he just said like at the edge of town.
Yeah.
is
He
what I
still
thought.
lives in town. He's just like in a swampy part.
He likes to edge. He's an edger.
Whoa. Tower Santa didn't
agree
necessarily
with that.
see Patty. He just saw a fellow crazy person talking alone and asked who he was talking to. I hear it's quite a polite thing to do among the crazy society.
We wondered that, Steve and I.
I agree with that.
I agree with it too.
I see it as
I don't think he saw her.
Agreed.
I see it as a potential, but I do also see a potential that he did see her because he did write the letter to Mr. Resurrect.
Steve, you said last time the email.
You have to think about the way that Kevin talked to his dad, and his dad would turn around and start talking to somebody, and it was clear he was talking to somebody.
Sure, I'm
what's
very
coming across
aware
is
that
crazy.
I'm very aware that they've set it up so that that doesn't confirm Patty's existence. It could totally be, but I don't think that proves that this guy doesn't necessarily see people like Patty.
That's fair.
Because he has something in him.
Beto concludes by saying, Steve, you said the last email was shorter, so I tried to keep it around the same length. I appreciate that you guys keep reading and your feedback about it. Till next time, Don Beto.
I love his points. Yes, thank you, Betty B. Where's those mozzies at?
Mika Kim Nachi sends an email saying, finally watched in time to send in an email. Season 2, episode 1 and 2. Whoops. This was 4 days ago. Should we still read it?
Oh, no.
What do you
think?
My
gosh, I feel a twist in my heart. I want to just give a little cradle and a hug.
All right, here's what I'll do. I'll skim.
Just save it for the next time we watch Leftovers.
She says, I always forget to watch the show episodes before the podcast episode comes out, so I tried Brett's method of watching right after the pod. Took lots of notes, but pared it down to these. Feel free to just read the ones that catch your eye. All right. Let's see. The new theme song.
This is for the last 2 episodes?
The last 2 episodes, yeah. I think I'll just let the mystery be. Does not bode well for Alana's request for answers in this season.
It's true.
Getting some Fringe vibes with the plexiglass over the sights in the street. Oh, yeah.
What's Fringe vibes?
There's a show called Fringe that I
Oh.
really did. Witchy Coven vibes from the Naked Forest
There's a show
running
called
and the
Friends.
bird buried in the box.
It's got vibes.
Oh yeah, definitely Witchy Coven vibes. Interesting. I didn't think of that.
The music is very present in this episode. Loud, long songs. There's a big banging sound from outside when Nora is at the door talking to John. But when we see it from Kevin's point of view, we don't hear any sound at all while Nora's at the door. I swear to Gorsh, is this a parallel universe thing? I don't remember that at all.
Me either.
All right. Well, thank you for those notes, Mika. Daniela C. sends an email saying, hoping this helps. Hey, BBBB boys and BB girl. I've been really enjoying the podcast, and thanks for the entertainment. You're very welcome. There's one thing that I'd like to bring up. I think Alana and Brett are not enjoying the show as much because they're looking for too many answers. Steve gets it, though.
Yeah, she's right.
Since I've watched it three times, I'll try to help. As an example, Alana mentioned Holy Wayne as a big unanswered question, but I don't think it is. I also don't agree. Holy Wayne was a fraud in the sense that he didn't have superpowers, but the hugs worked if you believed. Kevin's wish was to have a family, which he interprets as granted because of Lily and Nora and her daughter. But he doesn't know Nora well and doesn't even talk to his own son. That doesn't seem like a stable family, but he's choosing to believe. This show is a lot about how people try to find meaning or answers in things that don't necessarily have it, hence the cults. There can be an event like the departure, and it might not have a meaning, which is depressing. Humans have done this since the beginning, trying to find signs in the stars, the weather, even in cups of tea, and many other things that probably don't mean anything. My advice is to do what Brett was doing at the start. Let the show wash over you and enjoy the ride. I hope I didn't sound too harsh or cynical. Thanks again for the podcast. Now I look forward to Tuesdays. Cheers from Australia. #Black Lives Matter.
Yay! Oh, so she gets the muzzies. She probably heard us listening to that and was like, "Come on, guys."
Also, I think we don't these go up on Mondays? These go up on Mondays.
Well, she's in Australia.
Oh, that's right.
Okay,
Video went
muzzy
up
boy.
late, right?
Video does go up later. Yeah.
Okay.
Thoughts on the email, guys?
I love what she go. You go first.
I'm
Brett.
still letting the show wash over me, but we have to do this podcast, so I try to read into things a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am trying to let the mysteries be.
I think we're doing a good job, and I think Owen did a really interesting thing when watching Lost this time around. When we,
like I say, Owen did a really shitty thing. By
Owen
not
did a
being on
really
this
shitty
podcast,
thing
and I
to me.
totally agree. I completely agree with that.
Let me just.
Owen's
vent
been
my
a
drama.
shitty friend lately. No, he really truly gave the show another shot, and then was letting the show wash over him and enjoying the ride, but also being kind of critical like we have been and like you guys have been. But I think that I don't translate that to I don't feel like you guys are frustrated about, or I don't feel like you guys are truly frustrated about the lack of explanation of all the mysteries. Do you feel like you do feel that way?
No, I feel like I was really voicing, like when your trust has been broken with a previous relationship and you get into a new relationship and you're like really tiptoeing.
I don't know what that's like.
For the first bit of time. I feel like that's what I was doing with this show. I was like, okay, last time you messed with me. So every episode I was like, okay, but you better give me answers. But now I'm like, okay, I've relaxed. I'm comfortable.
Relax,
I've decided to trust you. It's been a good few episodes now.
I think the theme song is truly like an instruction manual.
Yeah.
And I think there's another show that does that really well, which is Mystery Science Theater 3000. In the theme song itself, it says, if you're wondering how this guy who's trapped in space eats and breathes and other science facts, just repeat to yourself, it's just a show and I really should relax. Which means don't ask too many fucking questions. Just enjoy the show. It's an escape. It's escapism.
Yeah.
I think Leftovers does that as well as Mystery Science Theater does.
Wait, before you go on, I do think
the mysteries in this show are more approachable than Lost. I mean, I think it's hard for us not to compare it back to Lost, but because the world makes sense and something that doesn't make sense happened in a world that we understand. it's a little easier to like let the mysteries be mysteries because we understand enough of the mechanics of the world. Whereas within Lost, it's like you're trying to figure out the mechanics of this island. Like
Right.
what even, where even are we? What's happening? And so to that end, it's been a lot.
Who took your
a lot calmer?
And did
Who took
Bohr
my top?
take his top?
You know what's
we'll never
interesting
know.
is this must be the way we process things or something. I feel the opposite. I only saw the first, I think, 3 seasons of Lost, but that's a good load of content. And
Sure.
I felt the opposite. I felt like I wasn't as eager for answers because I was like, oh, it's a mysterious world. It's a mysterious world.
You didn't get to like the crazy stuff then.
Versus like being in this show, I'm like, it's so close to my world. I needed to make a little bit more my world sense.
Yeah.
But we're the complete opposite.
Yeah,
I was
we're
like
just
desperate for answers.
We're
on
good.
Lost.
We're good to be on this pod. But wait, before you go to the next email, I want to address what she says because
I used to be sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
No,
please.
please. If you're talking about Lost,
Well, I was just gonna say that I used to be. I was always hungry for answers and obsessed with the answers on Lost, but then I realized that it was more fun to be given just little bits and then try to come up with your own like theories. And I found that to be a really fun thing with Lost. So
I get that.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, my response to the girl's email, the woman's email, I'm sorry, I'm about the names. I don't remember which one her name was. Is so this is kind of my personal belief. So obviously to each their own. But my personal belief is that every human builds their world on just what they believe in and don't believe in. The way she's saying that's
I'm
what's
out of
going
here. I'm not. I can't. I won't. I don't want to be a part of it.
The way she says that's what's happening with this show. That like what they're pointing out is that if you believe it, then it feels true to you or whatever.
Sure. Yes.
I think that is the way all of our worlds entirely work. It's what you believe to be true, and it's like self-affirming, et cetera, et cetera. So to say that like as an example, I'm not saying I believe this, but as an example, if Holy Wayne hugs you and you believe he has the power to remove your sadness with that hug, and you really actually believe it, you go through the process, you have the hug, and then you feel obviously that your sadness has been taken away because that's your belief, then
magic fucking hugs.
That to me doesn't confirm that he's not able to take away your pain. It confirms that he is able to. I think if you're in the position to believe that that's what happens and is happening, then it is what happens and is happening in your life's experience. And that means that it was true. It doesn't mean that he was a fraud the whole time. Like, to be honest, I don't want to upset any religious people. I should say Christians. I think that's probably the situation that happened with Jesus. Is his presence was strong.
I'm out of here. I don't want to talk about
strong
this.
and
this
faithful
is too
enough.
Controversial for me.
That people and like so divinely connected, and however you see that people really believed when he said you're healed or whatever.
Sure.
To such a degree that became real for them. And it's, to me, that would be like saying Jesus didn't actually have any abilities because it was just people's belief. I think everything in the world is just people's belief. So that doesn't mean a person didn't have an ability to make you believe a better version of yourself, and then that becomes true once you are able to believe it because of their influence. Does that make sense? I know this is coming out kind of rocky, but
no, I think it makes sense.
So that's where I'm coming from when I'm looking at this show, and that's why her email. I hear what you're saying, but doesn't that mean the same thing?
Well, the problem is when someone like a Holy Wayne just truly starts to
becomes a cult leader,
that they're a powerful magical person, and then they abuse that power to like seduce Asian women and then start a cult.
I don't think the problem is if they really believe it. I think the problem is if they use it for
I'm just saying
evil,
if they let it give them too
but
big
the first
of an
half
ego,
of that I don't agree with, the power of them starting to believe it too much. I think they have to believe
no, I'm
it
not
so
saying,
much.
I'm just saying when it turns them into an asshole or a manipulative
Sure.
like power hungry person.
Yeah.
All right,
Alana, is your point that basically if Jesus were to come back to earth today and do all of the things that Jesus did, that people would have a hard time believing that
That you would have the same...
Any of it was real.
Well, you would have the same conversations of people being like, yeah, but he's just a guy. He's not powerful. People are just believing that he's healing them, so then they're healed. But in my argument is like, but if people are just believing him and then they're healed, the bottom line is if they're then healed, then it worked, didn't it? Like, then he has some ability. I think it's all about belief when it comes to any of those things, frankly. Belief, I think, is most... these are all just weird ass atoms. You believe your arm's there and it works, and functions and shit. Like, to be frank, scientifically, it's all about the faith you have.
I'd love to be frank for once on this goddamn podcast.
Where's Bobby?
All right. Well, I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I truly don't mean to offend anybody. I'm very into spiritual stuff.
I'm very offended because Jesus is Lord and He is the way. So
I'm not discrediting it. I think
the truth and the light.
Yes. So guys, Max sends an email saying he was rickrolled by Damon Lindelof. We were all rickrolled. Hey, Alana, Brett, and Steve, and potentially Owen. Nah. Just some theories and questions. Although Owen did say what episode he wants to come in on, but I'll have to look into it. I don't know which one it is yet, but it wasn't these. Could you imagine if it was like the first one?
It's like, this is my favorite one.
Yeah, it was my favorite episode in the whole series.
It's an Owen thing,
Just some theories and questions. The departure gave some people around the world powers. Holy Wayne, Isaac being able to predict the future, and the limping old man, and Tower Jesus being able to see those who have died.
That's an interesting theory.
Maybe they were selected for God's war against Satan after the rapture. David Burton is the new Australian Jesus who has risen to lead his army. I'm not high. Why didn't Kevin shower before handcuffing himself to Nora and going to bed? Disgusting.
Same question.
Steve and I said the same thing.
We all did. Alana was like, maybe he's too tired. That's all for now. Thankfully, we go some questions answered this week. That is to assume Patty can be trusted. Talk next week. Love, Max.
That's my question about Patty. Not if she is or isn't there, but if she's trustworthy or not.
Joseph sends an email saying, Hi, Steve, Alana, and Brett. What a crazy couple of episodes. The Guilty Remnant are back, but they seem a lot less submissive. Did Meg rape Tom's...
They came back.
What's that? Oh, they since they came back.
Well, that's submissive since they came back.
Did Meg rape Tom simply as an act of power / intimidation, or is it part of some plan?
That's what
perhaps
most rapes are.
To get pregnant for some reason. And do you still love Liv Tyler unconditionally after that, Brett?
I mean, yeah. Liv, not Meg.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. How much do you think is supernatural versus mere coincidence delusion? Everything Patty has said can be explained away as something Kevin knew / intuited. So do you think she is just his imagination? That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, could be.
Did Mary really wake up? Or, oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Or was that just Matt's hopeful delusion? Also, did you notice David Burton got mentioned again? I certainly didn't my first watch through.
Mary had a little lamb.
I love hearing you guys discuss the show. I've been watching Dark. Oh, Dark's great. That's a great show. It's on Netflix. It's a German time travel show. It's very dark.
Brad keeps telling me to watch it.
It's great. I started watching the second season and then I dropped off, but I'm gonna jump back in soon. So between that and the leftovers,
I have a hard time believing Matt that happened.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
No.
With all the stuff that we do believe that one, I don't know why.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what Matt's character arc this season is yet.
Yeah.
So he could be like hoping he's special and really leaning into the special thing and maybe believing in the town being powerful or something, and maybe he's really putting his eggs into that basket and telling people that something happened. Because it's interesting. It sounds like the story of Mary waking up was what he was going to tell at church that day.
It is what he was going to tell,
sure. And the fact that the pastor stopped him is, I wonder, a way to protect him from John and his, like, going after
Sure.
people where magical things happen to them.
Or is there a different reason he stopped him that we don't even know yet?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a courtesy so that John doesn't go after him.
I'm hoping it's a curtsy because we need that kind of respect.
I love hearing you guys discuss the show, blah, 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 blah. Oh, so they're watching Dark and said between that and The Leftovers, my brain's been on the theory crafting overdrive, so it's nice to have you three to help carry the load on at least one of them, even though it's the one I've already seen, as there's lots to pick up on in the second time around. I look forward to next week. Take care. Thanks, Joseph.
Thank you.
Yahoo Maggie Pfaff sends an email saying John Travolta music cue. Hi, BBs. Here are some thoughts from these epis. Off-ramp. Love Laurie using her therapist background to assist people leaving the guilty remnant. Super interesting shift. Agreed. What kind of monster eats a bagel like that?
Ugh,
Agreed.
Triple agreed.
No.
Laurie is unhinged. Can you still return a dress suit you tried to strangle someone in? And number 4, Holy Tommy doesn't have quite as much of a zing to it. And here's some orange sticker stuff. Damn it, Kevin. If only you had teenage girl-sized hands. This whole episode had me on the edge of my seat and totally reminded me of a lost flashback. Nice work, Maggie. Very true. Thank you for the email. Wasson Clancy says, audio pronunciation of Wasson or Oisin. Hi there, babies and gentlemen.
Wait, so the audio pronunciation is... Oh, he's attached. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I get it.
Hi there, babies and gentlemen. I have noticed that not one of you has managed to say my name correctly. Oh. Well, to be fair, I'm the only one that can see your name because no one's looking at my...
We're guessing at Steve's pronunciation.
Yeah. Since I began emailing you in 2017.
Oh, no!
I made a quick little guide to help you. I rendered the fuck out of it. The audio is in big, hot 4K, so you should be able to hear it as clearly as a baby's eye. All right, well, let's hear it. I can't wait. This is exciting.
Make sure you do so, Brett.
Oisin Clancy sends another email saying how to pronounce Oisin, and he says, not like Oisin. It's me, Oisin.
What's his name?
Wasson. Quick guide on how to pronounce Oisin, not like Wasson. Oisin Clancy. Say it like as in spaghetti-o. Sheen, like Charlie Sheen from that one show. So it's Sheen Clancy.
Sheen.
Thanks for that little Oisin. Sheen. All right, Sheen.
Okay, next question.
That's all from stuff from the podcast. So we've already
been through that.
Learned to say it right.
Yeah.
And have continued to say it wrong.
Right.
Sheen. Wait, my question is, where's that name from? Can that be
That's
in
a
your
great
next
question.
email, please?
Sheen, please tell us.
Sheen.
All right, John sends an email. Thank you,
And while
Sheen.
you're telling us stuff, I need to know if Owen is a worse friend for not being on this podcast or Mike is the worst friend for making Steve come down and let him in the back door. Would love the opinion
He
of
made me
everyone
come
who
down
emails.
and get him from the side gate every time. You like buzz in.
Just curious of the opinion.
Well,
Of the-
we'll
of
we'll
the
have them
group,
both
anyway.
on the show to talk about it. John
Okay.
sends an email saying, "Hey gang, I hope you're doing well. Here are my quick thoughts on these 2 episodes. This is my first rewatch of the show. I thought Laurie was interesting in the first season, but she turns into one of my favorite characters from here on. Watching her dealing with her life past Guilty Remnant while trying to reconnect with Tommy adds a whole new dimension to her character that I find very compelling. Love the payoff of the car wash in the intro.
Yeah.
Also, great acting by Carrie Coon at the start of episode 4. I also love that last scene between Nora and Kevin with the cuffs. Seeing their relationship evolve is very endearing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ann Dowd as well. She's so good in this show. Absolutely, and she just gets better and fucking better, man. And truly, all the women in this show are so good. Anyways, just wanted to share my thoughts. Love rewatching this with you all. Take care, John.
Thanks,
Cool
John.
shot when she passed out.
Yeah,
good.
the camera like completely flipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Not
her.
directed by Mimi Leader.
No, but we love me.
Me.
Daniel sends an email saying, "Hey, who's your friend? Hi there, lady and gents. I really enjoyed these episodes.
Sip.
I like how they play with the timeline and show events simultaneously happening in different episodes. Really fun. Oh, yeah, like how we caught up to when Tommy met Jill in the diner. We got to get the story from there and Laurie's perspective.
The story from Laurie.
Yeah.
Really fun. Also like the cover of You're the One That I Want on episode 4. My only gripe, what kind of savage just takes a bite out of a bagel like that? Shaking my head, landlord scumbag man. Can I be honest with you guys?
I know it says a lot about you.
You've done it.
That's how you do it?
No. It's not how I do it, but I have done it. And I've done it with a bagel, like a cheese bagel. Like one of those ones that's like drenched with cheese and it gets all hardened and like crispy. I've just chomped into one of those before and not smeared it. Call me what you will.
I'm gonna call you a lot of things after we get off this podcast.
Zishan sent a really long email, but there's only 2 emails left, so fuck it. And we're only at an hour 30, so we're doing really good these episodes, guys. I'm proud of us.
We're not done yet.
We're not done, but we're almost done.
Know?
Zishan says, clarifying how many episodes and seasons this podcast has and thoughts on the show.
Oh.
Hi, boys and girl. You ready for this, Brett?
Uh-oh.
I'm so excited.
Thought I'd be just
There's nothing I love more than metrics.
Thought I'd be just a little bit pedantic today and clarify that there are 4 seasons of this podcast, not 3.
Jackpot.
Season 1 was Lost. Season 2 were the movies and Castle Rock. Season 3 was Watchmen. Castle Rock would have been a short-lived season 3 if you went straight to Watchmen. But since you did a movie after it, it stays in season 2 as a failed story arc for simplicity. And season 4 is The Leftovers. Do you agree with that, Brett?
100%.
Is this canon? This is now in universe? This is in game?
Yeah, and eventually we'll delete season 2 from the archive, and then it will always be like this lost season.
Well, don't tell them that now, because now they're going to download it, and then they'll have it.
Don't do that.
If you're reading this email in the next episode, this is the 94th episode, 59 Lost episodes, 14 movies, 3 Castle Rock episodes, and 8 Watchmen episodes, plus the movie, and 7 Leftovers episodes, including this one.
Castle Rock felt
We're
like...
almost at 100.
Yeah, the 100th episode will be on August 3rd, where we'll be discussing Season 3, Episodes 5 and 6. Wow, can I hire you as like a... What could they do? Be like a personal assistant or something? Or
I don't know. I'm getting sleepy for this kind of logic.
I expect confetti and balloons for the 100th. On your end, I'm traveling.
The 4-year anniversary of this podcast is also coming up on July 15th. That's a Wednesday this year, though. But on that Monday, you'll be discussing Season 2, Episode 9, and the finale. You have to have Owen on one of those episodes at least.
Wait, should I write those down?
If you want to.
Hold
I can
on.
just forward this email to you.
No
I think
way.
it technically is written down.
I'm not reading that whole email just to get to this.
Well, I'm not
Okay,
going to
the 15th
reread it because that's not
Wait,
good
the
podcast
15th
content.
would mean
Oh,
that
boy,
we would
here
be
go.
recording on the 11th.
Oh, no.
So on the 11th would be one episode.
Remember when you said it was only an hour and a half?
Yeah.
What happened?
What's the other episode date?
You could also just re-listen to the episode.
No, what is the other date? The August what? That we
August
should be
3rd
on?
is the 100th episode.
Okay, got it.
God.
Wow, that was so hard.
Yeah, but it's... All right. On to my thoughts on the show. I caught up on the episodes and the podcast just this week, so I hope you'll forgive this huge observation I had from Season 1. It's an interesting one that's not even on the show's wiki. Oh. Do you remember back in Season 1, Episode 5, where Kevin got a call from the FBI officer when he said he can take care of the guilty remnant problem? I noticed something crazy. In the beginning of the scene, they showed this. Okay, let's see what this is.
Is
It's
it
a dick
link?
pic. No. It's a photo of an iPhone. It's Kevin's iPhone, and it says Agent Kilaney, Kilaney from Aftech.
I wish it was a dick pic.
Clearly showing Agent
Better
Kilaney
fit.
in the caller ID. But later on in the scene, Kevin takes the phone away from his face, and the phone shows this. I also noticed this. I just figured it was a production problem.
Takes it away from his face and it shows what?
It shows unknown caller on the phone, like in a really tiny frame.
Oh.
I think it's a production thing.
It
but
is
I'll
a
hear-
really,
I'll
really
hear you
tiny
out.
frame.
I'll hear you out. Hang on, sorry. Let's get back to the email here. The caller ID on the bottom right says unknown. What could this mean? That the person Kevin was talking to was not the federal agent? Later on in the season, when Kevin comes face to face with Kilaney, he didn't act like he talked to Kevin before. So this could be the case. It could be an editing mistake, but they made a point of showing the caller ID, so I don't think so. On to today's episodes. That wink in the audience when the book editor asked why the guilty remnant smokes. The end of the episode now confirms to me that Wayne was bullshitting and his hugs were a massive placebo.
Placebo hugs.
Tom, magic fucking placebo hugs.
Magic fucking.
Tom was putting on an act and Laurie was going along with it. Look at her face. She doesn't believe any of that. Patty was lying at the end of episode 4. What tipped me off was her saying that the girls were listening to music while driving without a worry in the world. But back in episode 1 of this season, we saw how they were when they're alone in the car. They don't listen to music and had very intense, somber expressions on their face. So I think their disappearance was staged. The music was on because they wanted it to appear that they're normal teenage girls.
I'm not sure if I feel about that.
Speaking of normal teenage girls, thoughts on Jill this season? I personally liked how they toned down the angst.
Me too.
Yes, very much.
Not that I think about
very
it,
much.
but the Garvey's rental house burning down is kind of weird and coincidental. I was thinking that it was the house that John burned down, but Isaac gave no indication that he was moving out or giving up the house. So I guess 2 houses burned down in Miracle around the same time.
I think a load of houses have been
Yeah, and I
burning
think
down
the town
all
just
the time.
knows about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've even driven past some kind of shit like that.
Can't believe we're halfway done already. There's 28 episodes, 10 in season 1 and 2, and 8 in season 3. Apologies if this was too long, and see you next week from Zishan Saeed. And he says, P.S. attached 2 clips that you already missed and 1 just in case you do.
Hashtag missed clips.
You guys want to hear some of these missed clips, apparently?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right. Here's
Yes, Kevin.
Here's clip 1.
Is she adopted or did your mom fuck a black dude?
Evie.
All right.
Ooh.
All right. That's an interesting clip.
What'd you do? Attempted murder.
Yeah.
What happened? Well, didn't try hard enough.
All right.
Yeah.
I love that scene, and I pulled that clip, but it's so long.
It is a very long clip.
that
Yeah.
It's like,
Is that John who's saying that he attempted murder? I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
When did this happen? He was in jail when? For attempted murder.
during the disappearance of, or the happening.
Wow.
He was in jail.
Yeah.
He said in this episode when he came back, like the town was different. That's when they started the
Right.
militant fire department.
Right.
Yeah. Whoa. This guy. Why does he have so much power? Was he like running a drug ring or something? Was
All
he
right.
the Al Capone of Miracle?
We got one more clip here. Let's hear it, please.
You're a regular fucking Hardy boy.
Oh, we got it. We got that clip.
Yeah, baby.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jishan. And our final clip comes from Allie Dorr. Allie got 2 in this episode. Saying
What about our final email?
This is final email. I think you meant to say email.
What did I say?
Clip.
Oh, well, fuck.
Clip.
I'm all over the place over here.
Well, I better just try murder everybody.
All right. Final email,
What were those
guys.
dates? When will we hit the 100th episode?
All right. Well, if we do some math here, August 28th.
Hit me with that fart.
All right. Guys, Allie Dorr says, "Hi, gang. This is embarrassing. They want the bungle music. All right, let's play it. Let's play that bungle music.
How embarrassing.
Quarantine life.
On the last ones.
What's that?
Allie Dorr, we've already read an email from her
Yeah.
about episode 1 and 2. Okay, go ahead.
Allie says, quarantine life was busy last week, so I had to rush to watch episodes 1 and 2 before you guys recorded the show. Alas, the email I sent was not read on the show, so I can only assume that it did not make it in time and that my email from last week was discovered on this week's show.
I love how cheeky she be.
That's very funny.
Bless you.
I'm deeply sorry for this. I'm the born boy. Ooh, that sneeze really got me good.
Do you need a sip of some juicy?
No, I'm good. I'm the born boy who wrote those peppy guitar jingles for you guys. Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Oh, Allie is not a girl. I thought Allie was. My bad. Maybe I didn't indicate
How is it
that.
spelled?
Who knows? Ali. I guess it's Ali.
Is it Ali?
Must be.
Oh.
He's
I really
gonna send us a clip and saying it wrong.
Here's how you say my name. And really, I just want to say that I was glad you guys enjoyed them, and it was a thrill hearing your reactions, but I'm sorry for disrespecting the format. It won't happen again. I think that makes us even because I've been calling you Allie. The bungle music keeps me up at night, and when I do sleep, my dreams are filled with terrifying clownish bungle monsters mocking me endlessly and stamping on a sea of broken horns. When will they stop? Please, Steve. I need it to stop.
Please welcome the wickedly talented.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. We did it. Episode over.
Yay!
I'm ready to move on, man. I'm ready to watch more. It felt like a lot of time passed from the last episode to this one.
Yes, it did.
Of the podcast.
Because a lot of time happened on this planet.
Yeah, like
a lot
year
of things happened
since the last episode.
In the past 2 weeks, so many things.
Dude, that is no joke.
Yeah.
That 100% is accurate.
Yeah. So I hope
it just feels like, I mean, like I traveled, but also just everything. It feels like I haven't seen you guys in a month.
Right.
It's been a decade.
Right.
It has the last 2 weeks.
This week has been a decade, and it has been quite a time. So, oops, this should go away. All right. Well, listen, guys. Thanks for listening to the show.
Special thanks to Bobby.
Special thanks to Bobby. Special thanks to everyone who sent in an email.
Always
you guys.
Bobby.
Here's the final word on the emails. If you want to get them in on time, the best time to have them sent in by would be Saturday mornings. Because sometimes we do them like Saturday afternoon.
Friday night.
Yeah.
The
earliest we record is like 12 in the afternoon.
We don't really
on a
do
Saturday.
Fridays anymore. So let's just say Saturday mornings. Don't you think,
I know.
Brett?
And if you get your email in Friday night,
Right,
you're
right.
definitely good.
Pacific Standard Time.
Right. So that's your official time to get your emails in if you want them read by the next episode. So, and you can send those to thefirsttimeshow@gmail.com. Anything else you guys want to say?
Can't wait for the next episode.
Brett?
Exact same. Exact same thing.
I love that
As
coming
Alana.
off of the part. The exact same. The exact. I can't say it in one word. The exact same.
All right. Well, listen, guys. Thank you for listening to the show. Brett, thank you for joining us, even though you're in the East Coast currently. And Alana,
Brett's on a family vacation. He's visiting fam.
It's not a vacation. I'm still working remote. It's very strange.
He has to work
It's
remotely.
very strange to go to a different state and do all of the like vacation preparation, but not actually just get to relax.
Yeah, that's the
But
problem.
I'm still working every day.
That's the
sounds
problem
terrible.
with this quarantine is like any remote work you could do anywhere. Pretty much. But I feel
and
for you,
the
buddy.
work since I've got here has been crazy.
Well,
That's the long week.
Try to enjoy yourself at some point while you're there. Don't stress out. Take short breaks.
We'll send you magic
Make sure you're
hugs
eating
in the mail.
well. Make sure you're getting
Thank you.
magic fucking hugs. Hey, Officer Mustard Stain. So, guys, thank you so much.
So good. I want to say it with him too.
Okay, you want to do it? Here it
Do it
comes.
with me.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hey,
Officer Mustard Stain. Why is it
Wait,
fun?
no, it's got to.
so fun.
We got to do it. You got to do it when it happens. Here we
Okay.
go. Okay.
Hey, Officer Mustard Stain. I'm trying to watch your finger. It's
Okay.
hard for me. Hey, Officer Mustard Stain.
My audio is
Brett,
my audio
it's
is
so
slightly delayed, so I speak and then you guys hear it like a couple seconds
Yeah.
later. It's just never gonna work.
Wait,
Yeah.
Brett, just try. I want to hear it.
Okay, we got it. Ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Officer Mustard Stain.
Hey, Officer Mustard Stain.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching the show, and make sure you watch it on YouTube.com/TheValleyCast. That's where you can catch the show in video form. You can see our shenanigans in video. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time. Hey, Officer Mustard Stain.